Welcome back to the Montana's Intermission Show. Game 3 of the Interpipeline North Semifinal Series, Fort McMurray versus Whitecourt. And joining us up in the Casman broadcast booth, General Manager Joey Bouchard. Well, Joey, it's been an exciting first couple of games, at least, to this series here. How much have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been obviously a very tight series. Two good teams going at it, and yeah, it's been certainly good hockey.
Couldn't help but notice maybe a little on pins and needles over at JDA Place with those first couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, those were as tight as it gets. I think for our guys to play the way they did in the third period was very impressive. I think it was one of our better periods, and certainly there's we got a lot of guys going hard, and that was a little nerve-wracking.
What have you really liked about the team, at least here in recent weeks? I know there was a bit of the spark in the last week of the regular season, and then a couple of physical games over the weekend as well.
Yeah, I think they've kind of found their identity. They've been a lot more consistent. It kind of came together for them. So obviously going into the playoffs, the momentum was important. And, and what I do like is all four lines are going. And our young guys have picked it up big time, and they're peaking at the right time. Our top guys are top players. Our defense have been playing well, and Melcher to really help us there in the last stretch of the season just I think brought a lot of confidence to our players, knowing they can win with him in net, and it gave Filion a bit of a break to recharge his battery going into the playoffs. Everything kind of lined up nicely there, and we expect it to continue.
You mentioned how big it was getting Melcher in goal for those last 3 games, not just for the rest of Filion, but as well coming away with 3 wins. How big is it for a team knowing that there are 2 goalies behind them that they can lean on?
Well, you know the story of the season. I mean, we rode Filion pretty hard, and which is why he was nominated for Most Valuable Player, because the league's seen it, the team's seen it. But what was important is to get Melcher to build confidence for himself, but the players, more importantly, to play hard in front of him, which they did. And winning those games with Melcher, I think it's unbelievable how much of the confidence it built in the players. And give credit to Melcher. He showed a lot of character. Those weren't easy games for him to play in. He came in and got the job done, and credit to our players that played in front of him as well.
Made the comment, Vincent Filion nominated for the AJHL MVP. Didn't end up winning the award, but still runner-up in that. How big is that for this program to have a player recognize the way that Vinny was? Well,
he's not only a tremendous goalie, he's a tremendous person, very low-maintenance guy. He just came in with the right attitude from day one in training camp here, and just a great leader for this hockey program. So I think he led the way, and him not winning the Most Valuable Player and seeing our opponent's goalie winning it, I think it's a great motivation for him, and he's a competitive young man, and you know what, it was certainly a fantastic season for him.
I know when I talked to him about receiving that nomination, he says it's so fitting, especially with all the trials that he went through in the previous years in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Does that just talk about the resiliency and just how terrific Vinny actually is in the net?
Of course, his journey in the QMJHL was a tough one for him. You got to remember, this was a first-round draft pick in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, and was one of the highest-rated Quebec midget goalies when he came into the Q or in the draft. So, he had a tough stretch, but credit to him, he never gave up. His former coach, Simon Gagné, who's a former NHLer with the Quebec Ramparts, spoke very highly of him when we had conversations, and he felt like Philly just needed an opportunity to just play games, and Quebec Ramparts were going in with some younger goalies. So, and I think Philly's had some Tanner Gillette as well working with him as a goalie coach, which I don't think Philly's had much over his career. So he had a bit of guidance, some direction there. But credit to him. Yeah, he's what a goalie, and he was obviously a massive addition in the offseason for our team here.
Let's reflect back on the regular season. I mean, the team finished just underneath 500, snuck into the playoffs the second last weekend of the regular season. How would you evaluate this year as a whole? I know it's a loaded question.
Yeah, it is, but to be honest, it was up and down. some teams probably across the league might say, well, we coasted through the year, and here we are now ready to go. Others will say, well, this is a new team. Only 3-4 returning veteran players with a big, massive turnover. And sometimes when you're going through these huge turnovers in a bit of a rebuild, reload season, it takes time for some of these guys to gel together. And the other part about it is I think a lot of people underestimate how good this league is. It's a tough league still. Even back when I was in Whitecourt as a head coach GM there, the league was fantastic, but I haven't seen much of a drop-off. It's, just our division with Grand Prairie, Whitecourt, and Lloyd. These are very highly competitive. Bonnyville, too, and as you know, you took a night off, you could lose against Devon. So not an easy, but our guys went through a lot of adversity. They came together, I think, at the right time, which is, heading into the playoffs. And the way we're playing right now, we are playing our best hockey. So let's hope we can continue that.
You've been at the helm for several different teams. You mentioned only 3 returning players from last year, brand new coaching staff. In a lot of ways, did it almost feel like this was the second expansion team in the AJHL with the Devon Extreme?
Yeah, you know what? It was a lot of work to put it together, but I had certainly a lot of support from the executives here with the organization. And, there was a vision, a plan I had, and I had support all along. So, credit to the higher-ups in this organization for their support. But yeah, it was, listen, it's a learning curve for the players and for the staff as well. Like, this is, when you look around the league, it's a lot of veteran coaches that have been around for a while, been through the trenches and have grown and learned. And, some of these guys are still in the league when I was back in the league. So there's just a lot of experience. You can't buy experience. It just comes with time. So I think, absolutely it's been a learning curve. But you know what? I can't question the work ethic from everybody. And like I said, it's certainly looking good now here as we're in the playoffs.
Let's talk about that as well, because as mentioned, brand new coaching staff, and anyone who's gone back and looked, Sam is a very new coach as well. How has he and the coaching staff done this year in terms of handling the younger kids and life behind the bench in junior hockey?
Yeah, it's Sam was obviously had a great career in college, and I think for me being at the college ranks as well in junior A, major junior, like it's all different. And coming from college to junior, it's completely different. You got younger kids that are 16, 17 years old. A lot of these kids have agents and advisors, and when you're at the college level, it's more the tail end of their careers. So these are growing up men with a focus on education. Not to say that these young guys don't here in Fort McMurray, but it's a completely different time in their lives. It's a massive adjustment. You got young players that need to develop, yet your top players need to be your top players in play. So it's a lot more. I always say coaching is complex, very complex. And so like I said, it's been a learning curve for them. But you know what? They're sticking with it. They're working hard. We're all working together to support each other and see if we can take this team to another level and hopefully have a long playoff run.
You've been part of several different teams. Which one in the past that you've been a part of does this one best compare with? Yeah,
I've started 2 expansion teams. I will say this team reminds me a lot of the first year of the Whitecourt Wolverines in the Alberta Junior League back in 2012-13. I think was the very, very similar. We had a bit of ups and downs. We ended up playing Fort Mac in the first round, and that was a very memorable season for me because we won in Game 5, and it was as tight as it got. But we had a couple real elite Quebec Major Junior Hockey League players that carried a load, and we had a real good, hard-working team. So I think this year's team, a lot of comparison in terms of, when we're comparing to Quebec players, we're comparing to young players, the new goaltenders. I think there's certainly a lot of similarities. And obviously back in that 2012 season, we made it all the way to North Final, which nobody expected us to. So, let's hope we can do that, or if not, go further.
This series against Whitecourt, because it is where you started, in essence, right? How much does it mean to you, your first full year at the helm of the Oil Barons, and you're facing your old team on the other side?
Very ironic, isn't it? Comes in full circle. Of course, it's special when you're going against a program that you built, and I had a lot of great memories in Whitecourt. As you know, we had a lot of success. We had a lot of players move on to NHL and college hockey, and it was great memories there. It's certainly, I had an individual that took a chance on a real young coach back then, and you know what, it was a lot of support. It was great crowds, and so certainly memorable for me. And to be on the other side now, just being in Whitecourt for games 1 and 2, certainly it was quite a feeling. And you run into people that are still around, the same fans. You see some of the older fans there that are still there. The volunteers are still the same. So yeah, it was nice, but even better to come out with that win in game 2. And I'm an Old Baron now, so it's you move on, and I'm proud to be here with the Old Barons, and I'd love nothing more to carry this program to a championship.
All right, I got a fun one here for you, because I talked to a lot of different people. In behind the scenes, you and I have talked a little bit about Nolan Eastwood and what he's really done as of late. But I have to ask, as a student in your grade 9 social studies class, what was Nolan Eastwood like?
Yeah, we're going back when we were living in the city. Yeah, Nolan, as a student, very quiet. I don't know if he was scared of me or what, but he was extremely quiet. Very good, though. Very smart student. Always got his assignments done. He took a lot of pride in his work. I remember he'd sit down with the other hockey players from that Sherwood Park area, but I can tell you this, when I was teaching in front of the classroom, he was paying attention. So he's a great kid, and character kid, obviously, and what a player he is. He's got so much character and fire, and we're so happy to have him here.
I can't say that I can think of a time where a general manager has been a player's teacher at school. I think that's the first on my end. Well, Joey, appreciate you joining us up here in the Casman broadcast booth. Enjoy the game, sir, and I'll echo your thoughts. Let's hope for some long-term success this postseason.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Matt.